Hey everybody, JB back with you once again for another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. We are on Case 3, Turnabout Big Top, and we're about to enter the first day of trial of defending Maximilian Galactica. I don't know exactly what to expect here. We have learned that apparently Max went to talk with the ringmaster, the guy who was murdered, Russell Berry, about an incident involving one of the circus members, Ben, who I guess he was not very happy with, and I guess he had smashed a bottle on his head or something like that, and then afterwards Russell was found dead. So of course Max is being suspected, and then there's also an eyewitness who saw him, or somebody who looked like him, wearing a like a magician outfit. So we're gonna see how things go today. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick? Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It wouldn't just be right. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying in fabulously from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. If only it were that simple. Alright, let's see. What room are we in today? Courtroom Number 2. Okay. Classic room. Of course, Von Karma is here. And now the case of one! Okay, this is Otto. What? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry, I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, wow, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor, he does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we call the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. Still being a sore loser as always. It did not count. Did you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. That was like 4 months ago, wasn't it? Or 6 months ago, because that was in June. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. Okay. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like you'll bring your dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well, you may call forth your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there, now! Wow, she even does the now like her dad. Poor Gumshoe about to be whipped today. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. Alright, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony. Alright, let's do this. Details of the events. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. Interesting. I see. He was beaten to death. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. The court accepts this into evidence. Okay. Russell's autopsy report. Time of death, 10:15 p.m. Caused blunt force trauma to the back of the head. A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may now begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Alright. I'm just going to look over the court record real quick. Just to see what we've got here. Okay, that's the picture. Interesting. We saw Max's hat. The poster. Okay, the map of the circus. Nothing particularly unusual there. The monkey. The ring. And then the autopsy report. Alright, let's just press everything. I don't see anything particularly weird with this one, so let's just go through all this. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's got to be more to this. Eh? What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? All the circus performers were gathered in... So, are they suggesting that this is important? Because I know we had talked about the footprints and all that. The fact that we don't see the murderer's footprints and all. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course, the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. Okay. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Then the ventriloquist went to the front gate absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. Okay. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. You were quick to shut that up. Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? Okay, I guess that didn't go anywhere. Wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? Oh, carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention, it was locked. Well, that's interesting. Locked, you say? Wooden box added to the court record. The victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. I wonder if maybe the key is something we're going to have to find. Maybe money took it. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Let's ask about the lock. You said the box was locked. How exactly was it locked? Well, it had quite a sturdy lock on it. It took quite a bit to open that bad boy up. Okay, so they opened it up then. So when you found the box, it was locked, correct? Yes, it was. Some of the forensics team took it back to the precinct to crack it open. I see. Continue, Detective Gumshoe. Okay, do I have to go back to this? Curious to see if we can get something. I have to go through this again. Okay, here we go. Contents? Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, Detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There was only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle. Found inside the wooden box the victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. That's rather interesting. Okay. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? Well, actually, we just got the autopsy report in the court record, so we didn't really do that much homework. The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it's something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No kidding. No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. Ho ho ho. I'm surprised he didn't get whipped for that. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're going to get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. We understand, Gumshoe. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trillo will show up on the stand as well. Oh boy. Yep, he's here. Please state your name and occupation for the record.
My full name is Trilloquist. I am employed as an operatic tenor.
Excuse me? The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist.
That robe must be calling out for your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Me.
The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman.
Well, what do you think?
It had a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trillo, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face if the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star.
Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order!
I demand to know who the witness is.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trillo handle this.
I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about getting testimony in my court. Ow!
You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this fitness. Now let's proceed. Okay, well this is going to be interesting. What you witnessed?
Once practice was over, I left the tent with a stooge. Clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? And the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene? You're sure of that?
Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high?
Now that's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown.
That's right, dress boy.
Well, since you weren't with him, could that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit.
Why's that?
Here's absolute proof.
Silk hat?
I wouldn't say that's absolute proof. This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Unless, he was framing him.
Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay, I guess she's the boss again today. Alright. I didn't see anything contradictory in there, so I'm just going to press away here. The clown, you were talking about Mo?
Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic I can't stand him.
Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place.
Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to queuing over for good.
Poor guy.
We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack. Then what happened?
Why the plaza's entrance?
To do some thinking, of course.
It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. When I'm a good thunker, at least my teachers always said I was. Yeah, a good thunker. Are you sure it was really Max Galactica?
Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup?
Snobby three-piece getup?
Get the wax out of your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Geez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat. Cloak. White roses. Thank you.
Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. I would have to agree, some of these questions are not that great. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trillo?
That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night.
That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character.
There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Actually there is, because, and I just realized this while we were questioning him. The footprint thing, we know that it couldn't have been only Max, because there was another, the victim's footprints were there, so at least that's a contradiction, right? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange?
That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? What else do you suppose this witness could have seen?
Well, it had to be Russell Berry, right?
That's the victim?
That's correct. If Trillo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well.
Aha!
Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the victims could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime?
Ah, I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt the witness's testimony.
So is Von Karma saying that Russell was just always at the scene of the crime? Because that's kind of what I'm hearing.
And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trillo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina. Yeah. Which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, technically, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Oh, we're back here then. So that didn't go anywhere. I guess we'll just press this. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene?
I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it?
Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time?
I guess that sounds about right.
Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you would just stand outside in that weather.
Well, the truth is...
Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you just believe that we'd stand outside in that weather?
Well, maybe you were waiting for someone.
What? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something.
Mr. Wright? Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
I have an idea. It might be Regina. I can see that being the case. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina.
Wah!
Wow, he just exploded. You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken?
Is this true?
Well,
you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it.
Well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
Ah! That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on his way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. Ow! There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer.
I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Pain!
Don't volunteer things.
Mr. Quest, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was waiting to propose to her.
You are what? Waiting to propose?
What's the matter? Do you think that humans have a monopoly on marriage?
That's the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit.
More pain! Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Well, this ought to be interesting. About the proposal.
Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
Is that the ring?
You're gonna propose? You, a puppet?
Yeah, Judge, I'm kind of with you on this one.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her, too.
Ew, no.
Exactly.
His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination.
What was with that sigh at the end? Okay, I think I know what we need to present here. Because we have that ring. Okay. Oh, no? Your Honor. Oh. Never mind, I guess. Okay. Okay, let's just press everything. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina.
Of course that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that?
I wasn't going to propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together.
Right, Ben?
Yeah.
Got it. That's the truth.
What was it exactly that you planned on giving her?
You know exactly what I was going to give her, Nubskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty.
Answer his question. What was it?
You're going to die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring?
Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Well, we're gonna push on anyway. Who cares if pain equals bad? It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being. Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short.
I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony, specifically about the engagement ring? I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You're sure to enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe.
Okay. Do we present this? There we go. I guess we had to establish that the gift was the ring. Trillo, do you mind if I show you something?
What is it?
Or what is it?
What are you talking about?
Uh-oh. Looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah, that's mine! Give it back! Thief, thief!
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said...
In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
Why then do I have it right here?
Ah!
What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Don't put me on the spot like that, Trillo.
I found this in Money's room.
Money's room? You mean a room they put money? Like a bank vault?
Well, it kind of is, in a way.
Ha! That filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quest, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then...
Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up.
shiny things.
Trillo, when was this ring stolen from you?
Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime.
What did you just say?
Details. I need more details.
Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza.
Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct?
Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time.
Ooh! Oh, yeah! Oh. Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trillo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Trillo Quist.
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trillo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching money monkey. Monkey money.
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away.
That is indeed an incredible shame.
Also, wouldn't that mean that Ben needs to run since you're his puppet? Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Definitely this. There's a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the Monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He's blinded by his rivalry with Max.
Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
Ha! I've told you so many times you'd think you know my story's not changing.
You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it will change some more. Where there's one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah!
Alright. Witnessing Max.
I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols.
So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max.
That's right. Money ran out less than a minute after I saw Max.
Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him.
How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about,
I suppose 5 minutes, I think.
So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay. I'll just press everything for now. So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night. That means you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up.
You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know? 4.
F-O-O-U-R. F-O-U-R. I can totally spell. Counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you think something really would have slipped past me? 4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose. Yikes, the judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trillo. Okay. So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night.
Of course that's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance of the tent the entire time.
I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina. About what time would you say these events took place?
You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know that practice finished promptly at 10 p.m. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know around what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Now what time was it?
Indeed, what time was it? What time was it? Let me think about that for a second.
Yow!
I'm no good at math. It was 10:10 p.m.
Oh, yes, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene.
So you testify that you said good evening to Max that night.
You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You got something to add? Let me guess. That's not it, Trillo. You say good evening at night.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trillo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act outside the courtroom.
Impossible. A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better.
There's got to be something wrong with this bit of testimony. I guess this? Isn't that a bit strange to you? I don't quite understand yet.
What do you mean?
Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? Oh, that's true. That's a good point. It strikes me as somewhat strange.
Why would it strike you as strange?
Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your coworkers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a coworker, I would understand.
Ow, that hurt.
Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trillo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot.
The witness will resume his testimony.
You're 100% absolutely sure of what you just said.
I told you already. Jeez, I'm 100% absolutely sure.
There's no way that he could be any more confident than that, right? Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh?
Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with a course. Everyone together now.
Silk hat!
Cloak. White roses. Thank you very much.
Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We gotta have something that will prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. Okay. So what I'll... So the hat here. We found out... Are we supposed to present the hat because, like, it was there and that means he wasn't wearing it? No, okay. That is not it. So obviously we gotta present something. Okay. Let me just check something real quick. $10.15. Okay, so that's not particularly strange. Okay, I'm gonna look this up. I'm not sure what to present here. This is kind of a strange one. Oh, we need to go back and present something over here. Okay. So they were trying to hint at us that we need to present the broken bottle. Trillo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most.
A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head.
Ah!
That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch!
Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There was absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival.
Wah!
Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene?
I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just...
That's enough from you, Mr. Quest. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night?
I think he saw someone else. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all.
What?
If he had truly met Max that... Or, no, that's not Von Karma. If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trillo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it.
Let in the words. You... Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trillo saw that evening, then?
I'm gonna guess it was Regina. Because that's who he's waiting for. This is the person that this witness felt the need to greet that night.
How about it, Mr. Quest?
How about you stop asking me these ridiculous questions? You can show me all the crappy pictures you like. There's no one, not one I wouldn't greet. What the oak are you doing, Woodman? You better not say, Trillo, watch your mouth.
Oh, well, okay, sorry about that, Trillo. Order! There will be order in my courtroom, Mr. Wright!
Oh, so that was wrong?
You better rethink this line of questioning.
Okay. Is it the ringmaster? Considering the ill temper of this witness, there is only one person he would greet.
It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute.
Judge, no. No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trillo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, that's true, yeah. But I figured he might have started with good evening.
Oh, yeah, I suppose you got a point there.
It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trillo. Isn't that correct?
Well,
answer the question, Mr. Quest.
Wah!
Order! How do you respond to this?
Well, wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quest obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica, or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry?
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols.
Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. You gotta remember them by now. Here we go again, everyone. All together now. Ow!
Yes, yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. A silk hat and a cloak, anyone can wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry.
What?
Miss Von Karma? Do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant?
Well,
If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you in your effort, but...
But?
Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there's no other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Oh boy.
Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess.
Alright, to be continued. Well, that was quite a circus in court, eh? Eh? Okay. I had to make that pun at least once, so... Alright, everybody, so next time we are going to continue with the second witness, who I have to believe is Mo. But until then, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. So take care, and I will see you then.